Hello and welcome to our program. Dear guests, my guest tonight is Mario Nava, Director General for Structural Reform Support at the European Commission. Mr. Nava, welcome and thanks for being with us.
Thank you very much, and Shock Merci, Genç TV.
Thank you. It's our pleasure to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here.
First, I would like to start with the Green Line regulation. We all know that the numbers, the trade numbers have increased, especially after the pandemic. But I just want to know your thoughts about the Green Line regulation. Are you happy with the numbers that is recorded for the last 2 years? And what can we do to make the Green Line regulation for wider use? Because there are some little problems like heavy trucks having difficulties to cross the checkpoints. What can you tell us about the Green Line regulation and make it more easy for wider use?
Thank you very much. Look, the Green Line regulation, we think, is a very good instrument for the interaction between the two communities. It has helped the movement of people. We have recorded probably 33 million crossings since 2004, and as you mentioned, it has helped the movement of goods. The last few years, it has not escaped anybody's attention that the movement of goods has been increasing. So 2022 was much more than 21, and actually 2022 was the highest year ever. And also this year, 2023, looks very good. Now, there is the movement of goods, but there is dynamism in the sense that, for example, I will be visiting during my mission here in Cyprus a company who is trying to pass across the Green Line services. That should be a very first time that there is a trade of services across the Green Line. But also we are doing some initiatives. For example, again, during my stay here, I will be opening the one-stop shop. And the one-stop shop is a joint initiative of the Turkish Cypriot Chamber of Commerce and the Greek Cypriot Chamber of Commerce. The two presidents will be there, and with me, with many other representatives of both communities, and the purpose is really to function, to work as a display of the great commercial opportunities that the Green Line trade gives.
What about the heavy trucks, which is over 7.5 tons, having difficulties crossing the checkpoints?
You are very right to point to the fact that there are some things that still need to be smoothed out, and we are in regular contacts with the authorities for the different points. So I really hope the situation gets solved quickly, but it is very clear that I'm not saying that everything is perfect. There are things, but this, if you want, shows the dynamism of the situation we are in.
Okay. Direct trade regulation. Turkish Cypriots were very hopeful about the direct trade regulation, but unfortunately they couldn't get what they were expecting. Can you tell us anything? Is there any progress about the direct trade regulation?
The direct trade regulation is not there, and the reason why it's not there is because there are procedural issues. But I want to insist on one point, that even in absence of the direct trade regulation, we have other opportunities. One is the Green Line regulation we just talked about,
yes.
But then we have done initiatives, like, for example, what we have done with Halloumi Helim.
Yes.
With Halloumi Helim, as you know, we have done a great process which goes under the name of PDO,
yes.
Product Denomination of Origin, which allows to identify the product as an exclusive product of the island of Cyprus. This gives really great opportunities for trade, and what we hope is that soon, when I say soon, I mean in few months, by let's say summer of 2024, we will start having the first halloumi production, the first halim production from the Turkish Cypriot community to go across the Green Line, and therefore to reach the very vast EU single market where the PDO gives the exclusivity of the product from the island of Cyprus.
Okay, let's talk about the EU funds and support. Republic of Cyprus is a full member state of European Union, and Turkish Cypriots are also European citizens. I would like to know your thoughts about the fair share. Do you believe that the Turkish Cypriots are getting fair share from the funds and supports which is supported by the EU?
Let me give you numbers, because so on numbers is very easy to then build our opinions. In the European Union budget, there is a specific line which is called EU aid support, destined to the Turkish Cypriot community. How big is this line? For the last 7 years, so 2021 to 2027, so for these 7 years, the line was 240 millions. How much money have we given over time? Since 2006? We have been investing in the Turkish Cypriot community 688 millions. So we're close to 700 millions. In the EU budget, if you read it, the purpose of this money, the top purpose, is reunification. How this top purpose is achieved? There are a number of subcategories. One subcategory is the one of infrastructure. We have spent and invested money in infrastructure. I myself have visited the wastewater treatment plant of Nicosia, of Famagusta, and also of Morphu. And just 1 month ago, we have had an extension in the Morphu area, which has been inaugurated. Another subcategory has to do with private sector support. We are supporting private business. As I said during my visit to the island, I will be visiting this company offering service across the Green Line, but I will also be visiting, for example, another company producing halim, and several other businesses that we have supported. We are supporting also confidence building measures. Probably the most famous of them all is the Committee on Missing Persons. As you know, the European Union is the greatest contributor to the Committee of Missing Persons, that we consider a very important task for the reunification and the peaceful reunification of the island. Now let me say one thing on the Committee of Missing Persons. The European Parliament also attaches lots of importance to that, to the point that several times the European Parliament has increased the amount that we can spend, focusing in particular to the Committee of Missing Persons. And now that I am at the European Parliament, let me make a very clear plea for the EU Turkish Cypriot who are EU citizens. There will be the election of the European Parliament from the 6th to the 9th of June 2024. Please vote. Vote what you want, but vote. Europe is a democracy and needs the vote of the EU citizens.
I totally agree with that. Would you like to add a few more things about the relationships or developing the relationships between Turkish Cypriots and European Union, both economical and social relations?
Maybe let me mention other areas where we intervene. One to which I'm personally very much attached is the one of bringing Turkish Cypriot closer to the EU. And in particular, we're talking about students. Numbers, 2,150 Turkish Cypriot students have been receiving scholarship in order to be able to participate to European universities. We are also constituting an alumni of these 2,150 citizenship. And then we are also supporting civil society. If you check my social media, last week in my office in Brussels, I received a representative of the LGBTQI plus associations, bicommunal. They came bicommunal, and we had a very good discussions of the challenges and the opportunities that they face. And we support many other civil societies organizations, for example, having to do with environments or with student rights or whatever. Another area where I think we do a lot for bringing the two communities together is the area of the cultural heritage. Again, during my visit here, I will be going to Famagusta, and see the completion of the work of Famagusta Bastion, the Martinengo Bastion, and I think all this work, and I've been visiting a number of cultural heritage places that we have restored, the Apostolos Andreas Church, or in Larnaca a mosque last March. So I believe this is really a work that brings the two communities together.
Okay, thank you. And let's talk about Pile issue. We all know that there's a road dispute in the Pile area. There has been a lot of negotiations which was tried to solve the problem. We heard some announcements, but still no final decision about the Pile dispute. I also checked your social media that you are having some meetings about the Pile problem. What can you tell us? Is there any updated news about Pile that the dispute is going to be over, or is there any agreement? Is it at the conclusion period? What can you tell us about the Pile?
Okay, let me first say that, of course, and you have seen it from the social media of the European Commission, we regretted the violence and the accidents that happened in August. Now the point is from that to create an opportunity for a better dialogue between the two communities. As you know, the United Nations has been working on that particular understanding, so there is a particular understanding run by the United Nations, and for the time being there is a pause in the works, but we are very hopeful that soon the works start again to the benefit of both communities involved. And we think that this is a display case of how an initially difficult situation could be transformed into an opportunity.
But despite you had some meetings yesterday, today, there is no final decision?
We have had some meetings, but we let the UN to see when they will tell us that the works will start again.
Okay, let's talk about the new checkpoints. It's very interesting because when we speak with all parts are agreeing that they are ready to open the new checkpoints. But when it comes to the implementation, the same parts are finding or maybe even creating some excuses to not to open the new checkpoints. I know that European Union also agrees for the opening of new checkpoints. What can you tell us about new checkpoints opening in Cyprus? And is there any specific gate, checkpoint that you want to be implemented in the near future?
Look, it's very simple on the checkpoint, because as you know, the checkpoints are regulated by an annex to the Green Line trade regulation. So as long as the two communities agree on the checkpoint, I have my pen in the hands and we are very ready to go through the procedure to modify the Annex 1 of the Green Line regulation and make the additional crossing point official.
Any specific name about the new?
We are agnostic on that as long as the two communities agree.
Okay. Now let's talk about the Cyprus negotiations, which is a huge part of our life for the last 50, 60 years. As you know, it's been more than 6 years that the negotiations was collapsing, Crown Montana, and now the situation has been changed. So both sides has changed their leaders. In the Republic of Cyprus, the president is now Nikos Christodoulis, and on Turkish side, the president now is Mr. Tatar, and they are having different arguments. The Greek side insists that the negotiations should start where it has left off from Crown Montana on discussing about the federal-based solution. On the other hand, Turkish side and Mr. Tatar insist that the negotiations, if starts again, it should be based on 2 states. By asking this question, I would like to add one more information about this, because during the Crown Montana period, nearly the end of the negotiations, there was some news in the newspapers and on TV that the previous President of Cyprus, Mr. Anastasiadis, put this argument at the negotiation table by saying that maybe the two-state solution is better for Cypriots. And now our president, Mr. Tatar, argues that. What is your thoughts about restarting the negotiations? And if it starts again, does it have to be on the federal base negotiation or two states? And one more thing, sorry, the question is a little bit long because the problem is too long. Now there is another saying that maybe two states can be united under EU by confederal solution. So what are your thoughts about restarting the Cyprus negotiations?
Okay, many questions, but I hope to be very clear in my reply. The position of the European Union is very clear, and is the position of the United Nations resolutions, which they say that we have the basis on which we have to work is the bicommunal, bizonal federation. We are very clear on that. All our work, including the money, is on the basis of reunification under the bicommunal, bizonal federation. So this is clearly our working hypothesis. We do hope that negotiations are resumed soon. We do hope that a UN envoy is soon appointed so that the work can start. From our side, the EU is very ready for that, and we actually look forward. I must say one thing, that all the work we do is exactly in the direction of making a restart of the negotiation possible. I've spoken about Green Line trade, I've spoken about halloumi. These are all things that make and that facilitate a better integration between the two communities.
Okay, let's talk about the European Union's position at the negotiation table. However it's going to happen, if the negotiations will restart, EU will be at the negotiation table. That is for sure, because Cyprus is a full member of European Union. But Turkish sides insist that European Union can be at the negotiation table as an observer. On the other hand, the Greek side insists more effective role for European Union at the negotiation table. And what are your thoughts about the positioning EU at the negotiation table?
Well, it's very clear that it's essential for the integrity of the negotiation process that the EU is present and involved. Mm-hmm. It's very clear that reunification is the door to entry into Europe. It's very clear that the European Commission did and can provide to the parties expertise, expert advice, and can ensure that the outcome of the negotiations is consistent with EU legislation.
Okay, there is a huge problem which I believe it is against human rights, and that is the citizenship problems of the mixed marriages children. I've spoken this matter with Nikos Christodoulis, and he told me that they are preparing new measures to solve this problem, but this is going on for many years. And it's a huge problem, especially for the children who cannot get their citizenships, which is totally, fully, 100% their rights. I know that each country, each member country in the European Union have their own rules to give the citizenships, but this is something very important, because most of the people who got their citizenships were at the same category. But now the people who are at the same category cannot get their citizenships, and it's a big problem. Do you have any helpful advices or ideas about solving this problem?
No, thank you very much for raising it. I would agree with you definitely that this is a big issue. This is an issue of which we are very much aware and that we raise with the Republic of Cyprus authorities. As you said very well, the rules for EU citizenship is regulated by each national state. I am aware that there are some plaignants in the Cyprus court. and let's see how this is going on. It's clear that if the solution of the Cyprus court, for whatever reason, would be considered unsatisfactory by the Plénion, the Court of Justice of the European Union is open to eventually that. But I really hope that before the solution is solved via some political initiative.
Okay, this is a very important issue. And now let's talk about the EU-Turkey relations. We all know that the negotiations about the new chapters has been stopped for a while, but by raising the issue of the membership of Sweden to NATO, Turkish President Mr. Erdogan made some announcements that we will support Sweden's membership to NATO, but on the other hand, we would like European Union and Turkey become closer and to get the right to be a full member state in the European Union. Is there any updated news about European Union-Turkey relations? Can you give us some updated information about this, or it's just as it is?
No, I would say there are two pieces of news. One which is out since very recently, which is a EU-Turkey enlargement report, so dealing with the enlargement status of Turkey. And in that report, the European Union noted some elements like continued democratic backsliding, deficiencies in the rule of law, targeting of opposition and civil society, lack of respect of human rights, deviation from Turkey's obligation under the EU-Turkey custom unions, no alignment on the EU sanctions against Russia, promotion of the two-state agenda for Cyprus. It also noted some positive elements, definitely, like there were no further unauthorized drilling activities in the Eastern Mediterranean. It noticed a distinct improvement in the Greek-Turkish relationship, and it noticed that Turkey helped address effectively irregular migration. So there is positive and negative, and this has been put very, very clearly in the enlargement report. And then there is another report about to come, of which, of course, none of us knows much because it's about to come, will come in about a month for the European Council of December. And that report will be more in general about the relationship between EU and Turkey, and of course a part of that report will inevitably concern this island.
One more question I would like to ask you about this matter. The first time when the negotiations started between Turkey and European Union was December 2005. It's been exactly 18 years. Within this period, we have seen many, many countries which became the full member of European Union. Even England left European Union. Many other states become to have negotiations to be a full member of European Union, but Turkey's position didn't proceed as it expected. Do you believe that European Union was fair to Turkey, because Turkish president and Turkish foreign ministers are also mentioning back to back that the European Union is not fair to Turkey, to Turkey?
During this period, we have had the entry of the big enlargement in 2004, and then we had the entry of two more countries in 2007, Bulgaria and Romania, and then we had the entry of Croatia in 2014. I want to...
And I believe that was the same time when they started to negotiate with Croatia and Turkey.
But I want to insist on one point, that the entry of a country into the European Union follows a very clear criteria, the so-called Copenhagen criteria, because they were decided at a European Council in Copenhagen, and these Copenhagen criteria have to do with economics and with political consideration. I work for the European Union. Of course, I do consider that the European Union has always been fair in this process, and even in the last report, I think we were detailed in what we wrote, and is exactly what I've mentioned before.
When I spoke with Mr. Christodoulis, I asked him about this subject, and he told me that Republic of Cyprus fully supports the full membership of Turkey, and they want Turkey to become much more closer to European Union. But on the other hand, Turkish authorities are saying that Cyprus, Republic of Cyprus, is preventing Turkey's road with EU, and they are putting some barriers to not to continue about the negotiations of the new chapters. What can you tell us about this?
Well, this is clearly a matter where they are saying different things. I cannot speak neither for the one nor for the other. I can speak for the European Union, and with respect to the European Union, I restate what I just said. I believe we have been following a fair process, but a very transparent process. Mm-hmm. It's very clear what are the issues that we look at, and as I said, we were at every and each time detailed, including a week ago with the enlargement report.
Okay, last two questions. One of them is about opening new bank accounts at the south side of the Cyprus. There were few announcements that this problem has been solved, but as European citizens, Turkish Cypriots, when they go to south side of the Cyprus and they apply to open a new bank accounts, they are having difficulties. I know that you are also showing interest to this subject, but do you believe that the problems have been solved right now? Any Turkish Cypriot or any Turkish Cypriot company can go and open a new bank account, or the problems are still exist?
Well, let me be very specific on this, because this is very important. It's an area where we worked a lot with my colleagues. There has been a very important circular letter by the Central Bank of the Republic of Cyprus, issued on the 26th of April, recognizing that Turkish Cypriot who are EU citizens can open a bank account and now they are going to open a bank account. Of course, it took some time to the bank to put this in operation. So let me, from a de jure point of view, from a legal point of view, the issue has been solved and they can be opened. Now what we are trying to do is to make it effective, make it operational, and myself and my colleagues who have been in touch latest last week with the CEOs of the big banks in Cyprus, with the Cyprus Banking Association, in order to make these rights really true. And I hope during my visit I will also be seeing again the governor of the Central Bank of Cyprus, so I hope that this right will be exercised soon. This is, of course, very important and to the interest of us all, because a bank account means that every transaction which is made is immediately visible and transparent, and we believe this is very good for all and for the economy.
Do you believe that the proof of address is the problem?
I think that has been helpfully already resolved, and it has been clarified that in case a Turkish Cypriot who is an EU citizen has an address in the north can issue himself a oath or an affidavit, as you say in banking jargon, which gives the address.
Okay, and hellim.
Hellim.
Hallumi. Another word that you know in Turkish. Hellim.
Hellim.
Yes. On 12th of April 2021, European Commission registered Hellim Hallumi as a PDO under the check and control of a private company called Bureau Veritas. And this was a very helpful and beneficial development for the producers. What can you tell us about Hellim and Hallumi process? Do you believe that everything is going on the right and well direction, or is there any other things that needs to be done to make it more useful?
Look, what we did on that famous 12th of April 2021, what we did was to essentially do a mini reunification lab, because we have unsuspended, we have lifted the suspension of the rule of law, the European rule of law, the acquis communautaire, for the Hallumi. So that is a mini reunification lab. From that moment on, We have, as you know, we have a working group that we chair, that has gone ahead and has worked. We have received till now 3 requests from the Turkish Cypriot communities. 2 have been already authorized. We hope that the 3rd one will be authorized. This is a major development, clearly a major development, because as you know, halloumi constitutes a big part both of the Turkish Cypriot economy, but also of the Turkish Cypriot employment. I've been myself visiting several companies of producing halloum. Now, we are also, through Bureau Veritas, we are also facilitating the fact that the companies meet the food safety and the animal health standards. This is extremely important because once the food safety and the animal health standards are met and all the procedures are done, we will be able to have the halloumi crossing the green line. And as you know very well, crossing the green line means entering the 450 million European market, where the halloumi will be the exclusive. Halloum will be exclusive. No other country can say, I am producing halloumi. 9. Yes. The halloumi can only be produced in Cyprus. That is a phenomenal advantage to the halloumi producers.
Definitely. And lastly, what is your message to Turkish Cypriots?
My message to the Turkish Cypriot, as I said, is first, Turkish Cypriot who are EU citizens, come to vote on the 6th to 9th of June 2024. And second, continue to show the determination for Europe and continue to work with us in order to get true reunification to Europe and to a much better future. If I may, I believe that reunification will be a phenomenal boost for business, for quality of life, for investment and for commercial opportunities across the whole island.
Okay, Mario Nava, Director General for Structural Reform Support at the European Commission. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for being with us. Çok mersi Genç TV.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kafe Crown'un sunduğu Meydanı devam edecek.
Kafe Crown'dan önce. Kafe Crown'dan sonra. Kafe Crown daha çok sen.
Değişmemek için sebebiniz ne? Hayat her zaman yeniliklere açıktır. Yeni başlangıçlar bizi hep heyecanlandırır. Gelecek yolundaki güç artık tamamen elektrikli. Dinamik teknolojileriyle eşsiz bir yenilik. Şimdi her yolculukta daha ileri. Yeni bir vizyonla yine zirveye. Yeni BMW iX. Yeni bir çağın öncüsü.
Hiç olmayacak gibi yaşa, her an Kaza geliyorum demez, sürprizler seni beklemez. Zarar gelse de sigortam var, yanımdadır her zaman. Limasol sigortayla keyif alırım hayattan. Limasol sigortayla ben güvendeyim her zaman. Limasol yanımdaysa keyif alırım hayattan. Hey! Sen hayatın tadına var, Limasol'da sigortan var. Bak sigortalı hayat ne kadar güzel ve rahat. Siz hayatın tadına varın, gerisini bize bırakın. Limasol sigorta.
Ben kimim? Memleketim Kütahya, işim seramiktir benim. Bu topraklardır yerim yurdum. Adım adım bu ülkenin her köşesindeyim. Ben Kütahya seramiğim. Dost meclisinde milli seramik diye bilinirim. Dünyanın her yerinde bu toprakları temsil ederim. Fark yaratmayı severim. 60'a 160, 80'e 160, 80'e 240, 120'ye 120 olabilirim. Ha, kimse de olmasın derseniz 120'ye 240 derim. Ebatlarımla ve doğal tasarımımla Türkiye'de ilk, haliyle tekim. Ben Kütahya seramiğim.
Sadece bir ev değil, yepyeni bir yaşama merhaba demeye hazır mısınız? Bilinen, değişmeyen Hacı Ali kalitesi, titiz işçilik ve detaylara önem veren projemizde karşınızdayız. Gönyeli Yaşam Sitesi. ...91 ve 130 metrekarelik dairelerle Gönyeli'de yepyeni bir yaşam alanı doğuyor. İki ve 3 yatak odalı seçenekleriyle Hacı Ali kalitesiyle tanışmaya hazır olun. Mustafa Hacı Ali Emlak ve İnşaat.
Denizli'nin yoktan var eden çocukları kendi havuzlarını kendileri yaptı. Ve biz havuz yediği çocuk olarak düşündük. Neden biz buraya bir havuz yapmayalım dedik.
Çocuklar bir olup çok güzel bir işe imza attı. Kendi havuzlarını kendileri yaptı.
Hayali bile güzel.
Bence de.
Öf, bizim orada olacak değil ya. Hayal edersek olur bence.